What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Paste Studio. We are in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We are recording live from the Manhattan Center, as always. And we are here right now with a very special guest. This is Benjamin Jaffe.
Hey, that's me.
What's going on, man?
That's a sweet thing to say.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Wow.
I appreciate your compliment of my compliment.
We could keep this going.
Yeah, well, I know. I fish for compliments constantly.
Those are great boots.
You'll notice. Oh, thanks, man.
Great
Yeah.
boots.
You know, I was loving your wingtips.
These are my show socks, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't take
shit.
these out for just anybody's session.
All right. Well, now I can't compete with your socks, so I'm gonna cut it off there. Benjamin's got a solo record coming out. It's called Oh Wild Oceans of Love. It's your solo debut. People I think know you from Honey Honey, the duo. This is your first solo records coming out May 11th, and we're gonna hear some new songs. So let's get her started off with one of those. Tell me a little bit about this first one.
Okay. This one's called Susan the Cat. And if you do, I don't know if this is like a camera 1, camera 2 situation, but I'll just look at you.
Yeah. Right here.
It's not. So I'm in a band called Honey Honey. My bandmate's name is Suzanne. This song is not about Suzanne. This is not about her. It's about an actual feline that I met. All right? We're going into it from there. Here we go. It's called Susan the Cat. Well, Susan's a cat. She lives in L.A. Up in the park by the Western Gate, where the sands crunch like snails under your feet. And when the clouds lift, you see straight to the sea. Oh. Well, Susan, she's quiet. She don't fuss around much. I see you most mornings scratching shit up. Oh, most times I approach, she rebuffs me. I don't count on Susan to butter me up. No, I pick myself up. These days I've been living on the kindness of others, the friendship of strangers who open their hearts and their bodies and beings. And I must be equal parts searching and fleeing and changing slow. So give me a kiss and I'll go. I assume those are cat sound effects. Well, Susan's a loner, so don't call, she won't come. You can't look in her eyes, 'cause she's only got one. She sits on a pillow like an Egyptian queen. And I give her some space while I bow at her feet. Then I pick myself up. These days I've been living on the kindness of others, the friendship of strangers who open their hearts and their bodies and beings. And I must be equal parts searching and fleeing and changing slow. Turned out all right. Hey! Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. So is the pedal steel the go-to cat approximator in music?
I think it's as close as you can get.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the old days, they would swing the cat.
The actual cat.
Yeah, but we're past that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
think there are laws now.
Most people
Yeah.
try to avoid sounding like a cat, but I can't.
No. Yeah. Well, that's
Comes
why
natural
you're
to
here,
him.
right?
He's a feline fella.
You're a natural, right? So.
Very niche gig.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a badass solo, by the way. I thought I was kind of like, whoa. That was great.
So tell me about this record. This is your first debut record. You've made a bunch of records with Honey Honey, which is a duo.
Yep.
And you've been sort of known as one half of that duo, and now you are 100% of this.
I
What
hope
was
so.
the impetus to sort of strike out on your own and put these songs out under your own name?
Kind of Suzanne up and did a solo record on me. So we had been making records and playing these shows with Connor also. Connor's our drummer as well. So we've been touring really hard, especially after our last record, which is called 3. It came out in 2015. We just kind of hit it. And by the end of it, not that we hadn't wanted to strangle each other for years, but at the end of that, it really was kind of at a high level. And Suze actually took it. It was a really brave thing because I probably would have just like slugged it out forever. I'm kind of like I just put my head down and go. And she had a great opportunity to make this record with Butch Walker, who's a producer, and made a beautiful solo record. And that I was like, oh God. So I just like called all these songs and got into the opportunity of it, which was to make music that I don't make in Honey Honey. You know, Honey Honey is, as far as what I'm capable of, like the most genre-specific thing I can do or I've done. So this was just a chance to like, I get to do what I want.
Yeah, and were these songs that were all written specifically for this project, or had you been sort of collecting them and they might have been, for your other group? Yeah,
some of them were. One of them had been around a while. It was just kind of a hodgepodge, and whenever there's a deadline, I can kind of get. Should I not swear?
No, you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now it's too late because I'm forcing it. But when I have a deadline, I get my act together. So in the month, I knew I was going to record with this great friend of mine named Howard Feibush, who was an amazing record and studio of his own. And I had to come with some stuff. So I just put it together, and sometimes under pressure the songs can really flow.
Yeah, totally. The last thing about it is the thing that immediately struck me as I was listening to it, and I don't know if this is Connor on the record or not, but the percussion seems to jump out right away. It's got these sort of almost polyrhythmic sounds to it. The drums seem to be a real main player. Was that something that you really like concentrated on, wanted to do?
Yeah, for sure, because that was another thing in Honey Honey. I did play drums over the years a little bit, but I was much more focused on the guitar, and drums were my first instrument. So that was a thing that Howard kind of helped me towards. He was like, dude, you should play all the instruments on the record. It should be like, he wanted to make it like a Paul McCartney Ram thing. And I was like, but I went with him on that, and I was really glad I did. So I played all the drums, but because I'm not the drummer I was or the drummer this man is, I did a lot of layering of drums. So that just gave me a lot of opportunities to be like, okay, I can do whatever polyrhythms that I want. I don't actually have to be able to play them.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's right. It's a neat trick, man. I mean, you managed to pull it off.
Yeah, thanks.
So we're going to do a couple more from the new record, which is called Oh Wild Ocean of Love. Tell me a little bit about this next one.
Okay, this one is called Dominator, and it has some kind of crazy polyrhythmic stuff on the record.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Let's just play it, and we can talk about it afterwards if you want. You ready? Bum, bum, bum. Don't make that face round me, or let down that guard, honey, don't. dust of the earth, I'll feast on each birth and drain them of words. Creator has made us something harsh, from semen to scars and luxury cars. See him whipping round and baby driving. 'Cause what I am is a dominator, dominator, surprise, surprise, something's coming down the line. It can take its place there below mine, below So don't you chide me for my ways. Know your place, I'm the one who keeps you safe. Drinking espresso shots, eating steaks, having fun. Keeps you way out there in front. So you can be a dominator, Yeah. Got that in at the end.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Oh, now it's like unmistakable.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything but cats.
It's like a band of cats.
a band of cats.
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
Which is an awesome
Ryan
name,
Hummel on
kind
the
of.
pedal steel. On the cats.
Yeah.
That's right. It's like you've programmed a cat somehow. And it's like a digital pedal
Yeah,
steel.
this is what's going on over here.
It's a trigger.
Your cat noise box. Yeah. So, I was listening to that song. That's a single from the record, Dominator, believe. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. We've just been kind of putting them out one by one.
Yeah. And it seems like that's sort of an introspective song, sort of two sides of the same personality kind of a song. What is the what? Like lyrically, what were you going for as you were putting this thing together?
Well, I was, I can't remember if I was reading something, just thinking about something, but I always feel weird going in, but I'm going in. Here we go.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird thing, an impulse in all of us as humans to be kind of deeply insecure and need to dominate and destroy everything in order to feel safe.
Uh-huh.
And that comes from this like inherent just instability and insecurity. So I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, it kind of connects in a way. I was reading about the new music. I was looking around your website, and I saw that that song in particular is sort of connected to this initiative or this effort that you've been talking about online involving Dreamers, and specifically the Santa Fe Dreamers Project.
Right.
And people who donate to that foundation receive a free download of that song, Dominator. And it did seem like, there is some kind of political element to that, our need to kind of dominate or force things to be a certain way out of our own sense of fear of the future
Yeah.
or instability or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
just kind of fear in our environment.
Fear in our environment
Yeah.
leads to some erratic behavior, things that we are probably not proud of as a country, or many of us, anyway.
Yeah.
I won't speak for everybody. And so, what was it? Like, is that a connection that you saw in the song, or was it just sort of a way to put, an incentive as far as this particular Dreamers organization?
Well, it's kind of an experiment in a way, because I'm going to talk about something else that freaks me out to talk about. But I was raised Jewish, and I'm not like a deeply religious or practicing person, but I've kind of been studying it a lot lately. It just started interesting me in a way that it didn't before. And there's this concept of tzedakah, it's just a giving concept, and I thought, I don't really, if I'm building a business, because that was another thing, not that with Honey Honey, which is a business I'm happy with and a band that I'm proud of, it's a partnership. And in this, like you said, being by myself, I can kind of make different decisions and say, okay, I'm going to try and see if I can incorporate this into everything I do as much as possible, the idea of giving a portion away. So this was an experiment with that, to say, okay, let's try and direct some funds towards this thing that just kind of struck me. I live in LA a lot of the time, and it's so present there. I have friends who are dreamers in the DACA program. So the organization itself, you said why Santa Fe before.
Yeah.
It's just a tough thing. It's like an intimidating thing to jump into the nonprofit world because you don't know who's who or what's what. And a friend of ours who we work with Honey Honey at Farm Aid was just like, these are good people. You should work with them. So I just kind of trusted her to say, okay, who's doing good stuff?
Yeah.
And that was Santa Fe Dreamers.
Cool. For those, just to backtrack for a second, on Benjamin's website, there is a link you can follow to the Santa Fe Dreamers Project.org and make a donation to that very trustworthy organization and get a free download of that song.
Yeah.
And let's hope that, they are
No, they're legit.
doing the work we're telling everyone they're doing. So we're gonna do one more. That was one of the singles from the record. The record's called "Oh Wild Ocean of Love." It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Tell us a little about this last one.
This song's called "Everlasting Peace," and this is just the mega hit. All right, this is gonna come out the gate. It's not released yet, but this is gonna be,
The one.
Gonna be a big one.
All right. Good thing you didn't open with this, because who knows where we'd be right now.
Yeah. It would have been all over.
Yeah.
At this point, this is a barn burner. Okay, you ready to play this song? Okay. Some days I wake up in a sweat, body's wet from the tension. Baby, with all these cheap thrills from tangible achievements weighing heavy on my mind. But time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Oh, yes, like a path I'll walk, lift me up like daytime talk, like arena rocking. I'll sing it to you, soft and sweet and straight from the heart, so there's no questions there. Time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Everlasting peace. it till I don't mean it. Don't wanna compromise. Don't wanna lose myself in some disguise. But I know, I know, I know. Time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Everlasting peace. It could all be so simple. But you'd rather make it hard. Loving you is like a battle, and we both end up with scars. So tell me who I've got to be to gain some reciprocity. 'Cause no one loves you more than me. No one ever will. Oh. Little Lauryn Hill shout at the end.
Yeah, you know, I love on a few of these songs. It seems like they fade in this really kind of natural way out. There isn't like a punctuation mark
Good.
on some of these.
Yeah.
On the record, I mean, obviously they have to end, but like,
they?
yeah, well, maybe not. You know,
No,
not
they
in our
do.
minds.
But I'm really glad you said that, because when I was doing my whole, oh God, what I got to do something to put out some music, I just thought, all right, I'm not really ready for a full record, so I want to make kind of like a mixtape and string it together. I want to make like 25 minutes of just music that feels like one piece.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I did that, but I got as close as I could get. So there's a lot of interstitial music and instrumental.
It's cool.
stuff
It's
on
cool.
there.
I mean, it sounds like these are sort of puzzle pieces in a way
Yeah,
of one
cool.
whole. And they are all songs, it should be noted, on the solo debut by Benjamin Jaffe called "Oh Wild Ocean of Love." Comes out on May 11th. And there's a tour. I know I saw the first date I saw was March 6th down in Georgia.
Yep.
Yep. And then swinging back up around these parts of New York, also in March 13th and 14th at Baby's All Right in Brooklyn.
Just the 13th.
Just
but
the
yeah.
13th?
Yep.
Cool. Did they said they kicked you out the second night?
They blew it. No, because Howard, the guy who I did the record with, he's playing that show too. And they put, well, I shouldn't dog Baby's All Right.
Yeah. Right. That's all right. I'll just use my imagination and come up with the worst possible scenario in my mind. Everyone check out those dates. You can hear music and find other info on benjaminjaffemusic.com. And the record comes out May 11th. And, dude, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks Connor, Meehan, and Ryan Hummel for coming on with me. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Thanks for playing Paste Studio, and please come back and play for us again anytime, all right?
Would love that.
All right.